Hey, and welcome to Elite Rounders Mental Game Corner. Uh, Today we talk about how to deal with big losses. This is especially for one day when you're playing a lot of big bind tournaments or whatever you're used to, and they all break out. Basically, you have a big losing session. But a few things I think which can really help you how to deal with this. So first thing is like find the positives. If there's any positive, like try to find them. I think it's so important, not just in poker but in life. What can we learn from this experience? What positives could we find from that day? First of all, maybe you took it mentally quite well. Maybe you still had some good runs. That's also something to be grateful of, like good run, even if you don't win something, because if you make good runs every day, you have a chance to win 5,000, 3,000, 2,000 every day. You feel like you're very close. I think that's a positive sign. That just means it's coming, but you just need to keep repeating till you actually hit that. You hit the main goal. So I think it's very important to find all the positives. Just try to find every positive angle possible. Like whatever you felt like was positive, take a note. Another thing is like if it's like a really big loss, I think it's very important to leave your place, leave your flat, house, wherever you live, on the beach, under the bridge. I don't know. Just go somewhere outside, somewhere else. Whatever gives you this like good feeling. For me, it's driving the car, for example, just going somewhere, chilling, in a way. Finland, it's not always the best weather, so you're stuck in sitting in car or something. But you know, we have summer too, sometimes. uh, but yeah, it's very crucial that we distance ourselves from the place of loss in a way. It's like, and we leave some place where we can enjoy ourselves and not think about it too much, like. Because like if you just stay home, it's easy to just think about the bad loss what you had yesterday or something like that. So I think it really helps me that I just take a step back, or well, kind of step back, step outside, go see your buddies or something. Even though this is probably the last thing you want to do in a because like losing can feel like humiliation in a way, like big loss. So quite often even maybe seeing people seems kind of defeating, or maybe poker is really messed up game in some ways. It can really mess up your like mental state in a way that you don't even want to see people or talk to people. Like, you know, it can happen. Yeah, and it's so crucial that you do something you enjoy, because like what happens when you do something you enjoy? You're not looking at the clock. The time flies by, right? And that also means like if you're doing something you enjoy, you don't have time to think about how did the poker game go. If your favorite hobby is to play golf, right? So maybe that would be the time to go play golf, right? Uh, so it's like when you're playing the golf, you probably don't have time. Actually, golf is kind of game you would have a lot of time to think about it. You're just walking around the pitch, right? But yeah, but if that still takes your mind off from the big loss, that's good. But whatever the hobby is you enjoy, for example, like playing ice hockey or whatever, tennis, if those things can take your mind off, or going to roller coaster, whatever, all good. And I think also it's very important that we kind of like make conclusion from the day, so we don't just leave it like hanging. Don't leave it hanging. So if there's couple hands which really bother your mind, first of all, maybe it's even good to look at those like the day when it happened, so you don't lose sleep over some big hands. Let's say because like in tournament you can really mess up like one hand, and you can make a mistake with one hand and you lose the tournament and you lose a couple $1,000, and it can really hurt you. And if you don't like close the chapter on it, make a conclusion, like was it bad play, would you do it again? Also, if the conclusion is like I would do it 100 times out of 100 and I lost it, so it's kind of like can I ever feel bad about it, right? Like how can you feel bad about something if you would do it again, like every time in the future you would do the same? Would you feel bad? That's another good question. And if the answer is like you would always do the same, we can never feel bad about it, right? I mean, with the information we have, we would always do the same. Or if you understand what was your logic and why you did it, even though maybe it looked bad, but you kind of had some solid reason to, it can help. But yeah, it's very crucial that we close these hands. And also, like, what can we learn from this losing? There are always, they say, we don't really learn from winning, we learn from losing. I think it's kind of true in a way that the losing like puts us like under this kind of like scope in a way, because like we are more focused on I think improving actually, because like when we win we don't like, first of all, if you win you forget most of the times you suck out on somebody with terrible hand, and you forget most of the things which ran well for you, right? It doesn't even mean you played well. But like I think with losing, you always double check what went wrong and why did it went so bad, whatever. So I think like losing is actually a very crucial part of the game, and it kind of always drives me forward. Actually, I feel like losing is the one what makes me more hungry in a way. It's like makes me want to learn more. If we wouldn't lose, I don't think I would ever improve, like, because what's the point? To be honest, this can be kind of seen on some player pools. Let's say the player pool was kind of cut off by the better competition, and they stayed with the worst players and themselves. So when these player pools are integrated with the players who are like top of the game, again, they are just so much behind the curve, because like they didn't need to push themselves. Like they didn't have those losses. They were just beating the easy players basically. And when this happens, like I see some player pools like this, for years they just had it good. They didn't have to push themselves that hard to improve their game, and they got a little bit sloppy and lazy because they didn't have the losses either way, because it was so easy to win. So you don't actually improve as much. That's why we need competition. Like that's why you should seek out those good players and learn from them. It's so crucial if you want to be one of the best at your stakes anyway. So don't be afraid of competition, because that's where the improvement lies. And it's also good to remember, like, in the end, if you want to play higher, you have to get used to the bigger swings, and it's normal to lose big. Like, the higher you play, the bigger you lose. But like, again, it starts with something. When I first started, I lost $50 or €50. €50. Okay, that's actually a lot of dollars. That's probably like 60 back in the day. So $60. I lost $60 first. $60 I deposit. I asked for a loan from my brother and spent $60. I thought ace-10 off was great hand. I lost every time. But when you start out, something looks really good. Good lesson there. See, losing teachers. But like, so losing this €50 was quite a lot of money to me, and it sucked to lose that. But like, it's part of it, and that's how we build up. Like, let's say €50 was a lot of money. Today it's nothing so to lose like €50. So it's kind of like it also builds up through the years. Like the higher you play, the more you get used to it. The more often you play those stakes, the more you get used to these certain losses. It doesn't really matter that much anymore. Like after a certain time, human gets used to almost anything. So it's good to remember. But in the end, if you're losing big, it will always hurt. but the more you get used to it, the more easily you can deal with it. It's kind of the same what we were talking. But yeah, so don't think it will ever go away unless you just keep playing the same stakes, the same buy-ins. Then you're probably not that bothered by losing in a way, because you are just so used to it. It's like, for me, let's say $20 tournaments, it's like whatever loss I have there, it's not really that interesting. It doesn't like hurt me. I don't care about those. Like, in a way, I'm so used to it that it's nothing special. But so it's just like you get used to something and it's super easy. But yeah, I hope you find something in this video, and if you have some of your own tips for how to deal with big losses, sure, let us know. And yeah, I want to say thank you for watching.